Hey, what's up, everybody? Jedi72 coming right at you. And tonight I have a review for last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. Last night on Raw was a really good show. You started out the Dogs of War, Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre coming to the ring, bragging about what they did to the Shield on last week's episode. And then the Shield comes out, and it was just Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins that came out. They were asking, "Hey, where's your buddy Dean?" And Seth, well, Dean works on Dean time. Comes out when he wants, does what he wants. And first match of the night, you had Seth Rollins facing off against Drew McIntyre in a qualifying match for the WWE World Cup tournament to take place at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view in November. Very competitive match. Drew McIntyre, as always, put up the huge fight that he does week in and week out. He's a ring general, knows what he's doing, and always brings the fight. But Seth Rollins is no different. Again, Seth Rollins, he's the workhorse, and he gives it his all week in and week out. Last night was no different. Seth Rollins pulled out a tough victory, but he moves on to the World Cup tournament at Crown Jewel. In the next match, you had Dolph Ziggler taking on Dean Ambrose in a qualifying match for the World Cup tournament for the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. That was a highly contested match as well. Dean Ambrose started getting into a little bit of trouble. Drew McIntyre tried to get involved. Seth Rollins runs down to the ring to pay back the favor and does his best to help out Dean, but was unsuccessful in his attempt as Dolph Ziggler picked up the big win over Dean Ambrose. As Ambrose and Rollins were on their way up to up the ramp to go back to the backstage area, they got into a little confrontation, and it actually almost came down to blows. But had it not been for Roman Reigns coming out, separating the two to play the peacekeeper, trying to find out what's going on between the two. Of course, everybody wants to know what's up with Dean Ambrose. And I want to know the same thing. What is going on inside the head of Dean Ambrose? But then all of a sudden, out comes acting general manager Baron Corbin. And he says his little spiel about, hey, what's going on? What's going on? I don't, and everything. And then that's when he goes on and he makes the main event match to be the Shield versus the Dogs of War. Well, I tell you, that was very ingenious. I know exactly what Baron Corbin is up to. He's trying to draw the rift between the members of the Shield. Yeah, cracks started to show through last night. There are some cracks within the Shield. But as the night went on, cracks started getting bigger and bigger, it seemed like. And maybe it was just a matchup, the Shield teaming up again is probably just the medicine that they need. But later on, and that takes place later on in the night. Another key point to last night, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey goes to the ring and she wants answers. She wants to know what happened last week. After a successful win over the Riot Squad, she wants to know why the Bella Twins turned their back. Well, I can tell you why. You can't trust a Bella. You can't. Because they'll be your best friend 1 minute, and the next minute they got that knife driving right in your heart. And they did it to Ronda. Ronda was caught with her guard down. I guarantee you it won't happen again. It will not happen again. Ronda talking her little talk, and then out come the Bellas. You don't deserve an explanation. We do what we do. You know, Bellas just being Bellas. And things started to get a little heated. Ronda said a lot of things that, you know, hey, it made me laugh because it was just quite funny that she was putting the Bellas in their place. And Ronda was ready for a fight. She wanted to fight them both, and I think she would have taken them both down. And the Bellas, cowards. Had security guards come out. Ronda jumps out of the ring. She's like, what are you guys going to do? I've taken you down many times before. What makes you think it's going to be any different? And she did it. And then before you know it, she looks on the stage and the Bellas are gone. Cowards. Cowards. I can't stand cowards. But Nikki, you ain't got no place to run come Evolution. What are you going to do when you're standing in that ring and you got the baddest woman on the planet staring you right in the eyes? Where are you going to run to then? You want that women's championship? You got to try to take it. And you think you're going to take it at the expense of the baddest woman on the planet? I don't think so. It ain't going to happen. Ronda's going to run you ragged around that ring, and then she's going to tear that pretty little arm off, and then she's going to beat the hell out of you with it. And if your sister Brie decides she wants to get involved, she'll do the same damn thing to her. She'll take your arm, beat her to death with it, and then she'll rip Brie's arm off and beat her to death with her arm, and then beat you to death again with your sister's arm. What you going to do? In the famous words of the great Hulk Hogan, what you going to do? What you going to do when the baddest woman on the planet runs wild on you? Then there was a huge women's tag team match. There was Nia Jax teaming up with Ember Moon to take on the returning Tamina Snuka and Dana Brooke. That was a really good match. Something that a lot of people have been waiting to see was Tamina to hook it up with Nia Jax. And they hooked up all right. They tore the house down. Very competitive match. But Nia Jax and Ember Moon pick up the victory. And then you had the stare down. Tamina and Nia Jax yet again. And then just all of a sudden, out of the blue, Ember Moon and Nia Jax both Ember Moon and Tamina clothesline Nia Jax out of the ring. And then Dana Brooke, she takes out both Tamina and Ember Moon. And what it's all about, at Evolution, there's going to be a women's battle royal. And this is just setting up for it. And it's going to be one heck of a battle royal. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see it. And then Trish Stratus and Lita make their appearance. They go to the ring. And then, of course, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, they got to make it all about themselves. Show up on the stage. And the two teams who will meet at Evolution have a battle of the words. And Trish and Lita, they'd had enough. They're like, hey, why do we got to wait for Evolution? Let's do this right now. It looked like we were going to get it. Alexa and Mickie started walking to the ring, threw their jackets off, and then what did they do? Again, cowards. Cowards, cowards, cowards. Turn and walk away. They can sit there and they can talk the big talk and everything, but they don't want to talk. They don't want to walk it. They don't want to walk the walk. Well, they're going to have to. At Evolution, they're going to have to stand toe-to-toe with the Hall of Famers, the legends, the icons. And again, what are they going to do? When Trish and Lita. Obliterate them. It's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. Alexa and Mickie have nothing on Trish and Lita. Mickie James, of all people, should know exactly what Trish Stratus and Lita are capable of. She's gone up against them many times and have failed. She has failed. Trish and Lita have beaten the best because they are the best. And they're going to prove it at Evolution. Now, in the main event match, The Shield versus the Dogs of War. As expected, yet again, Raw, a battleground, and the Dogs of War and The Shield on the front lines, leading the charge, and it was absolute chaos. Just like it was at the Super Showdown. It was absolute chaos. Back and forth, things breaking down, getting out of hand. And just as you thought that the Shield was going to just completely shatter, what happens? The Brotherhood come together, pick up the big win, and what team ends up breaking? The Dogs of War. Braun Strowman earlier in the night warned Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, you screw this up for me, you will get these hands. And what happened? They screwed it up. Drew McIntyre kicked Braun Strowman right in the face, knocking him out of the ring, and basically cost their team the win. And Dolph Ziggler certainly got the hands. He felt the power slam from Braun Strowman. And Drew McIntyre was close, but he hit his finisher on Braun Strowman and then, like a coward, scampered up the walkway. And that's just going to be kind of interesting to see what's going to happen next week when Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler have to face Braun Strowman, because you know it's going to happen. Braun Strowman is not going to let things lie, because he doesn't. When he's like a shark, when he smells blood, he goes after it, and he smells blood with Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. And they will get these hands. And then at Crown Jewel, Brock Lesnar's going to get those hands, but Braun Strowman, he's going to feel the wrath of the big dog, because Roman Reigns will walk out of Crown Jewel as the Universal Champion. Well, that's my review for Monday Night Raw from last night. Hope you liked the content. Leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts. And like, subscribe to show support for the channel. And we'll check you next time. Y'all have a good night.